A professor stood before his class and had some items in front of him. When the class began, he wordlessly picked up a large empty jar and filled it with rocks right to the top, rocks about 2 in diameter. He then asked the students if the jar was full. They agreed that it was. The professor then picked up a box of pebbles and poured them into the jar. He shook the jar lightly. The pebbles, of course, rolled into the open areas between the rocks. The students laughed. He asked his students again if the jar was full. They agreed that, yes, it was. The professor then picked up a box of sand and poured it into the jar. Of course, the sand filled up everything else. Now, said the professor, I want you to recognize that this is your life. The rocks are the important things, your family, your partner, your health, your children, anything that is so important to you that you would be nearly destroyed if it were lost. The pebbles are the other things in life that matter on a smaller scale. The pebbles represent things like your job, house, or car. The sand is everything else, the small stuff. If you put the sand or the pebbles into the jar first, there is no room for the rocks. The same goes for your life. If you spend all your energy and time on the small stuff and material things, you will never have room for the things that are indeed the most important. Pay attention to the important things in your life and spend time on the important ones. In the time management story above, the professor says every aspect of your life affects the people around you and the things you hold dear. You can have time for everything if you learn what or who to prioritize first. The practical idea of living a rich person life is looking beyond the superficial and recognizing which part to focus on your way to a better life. Nothing gives a person fulfillment than working hard for what he or she believes in. And we are at our happiest when we are building our ideal lives. You cannot create a happy life if you keep wasting your time on things that don't matter. Do one thing at a time and do it well. Build your life on solid ground to thrive and weather the harshest storms.